the fifth session, which is the last session for the day, and it is going to be a small session about the roles and responsibility of the key stakeholders involved in the viral load testing and the viral load testing, sample collection and management. So the objective of this session is to the participant, the ARTC and the ARTC in the state, understand the roles and responsibility. We have divided the roles and responsibility for the ADDD of the lab services and CST division, ARTC medical officer and ARTC lab technician. So we'll start with the responsibility of the lab services and the CST division of the State AIDS Control Society. So the State AIDS Control Societies are responsible for the financial and administrative support. Obviously, they are doing it and they'll be continue doing it also. And also the monitor stock position, so that they and also to ensure timely submission of the monthly stock reports to NACO. And then is to prevent stockouts and avoid wastages. What happens sometimes, the NACO has observed that there are kits stored in the lab and the expiry date is nearby. So they don't inform and that it gets wastage. So in order to avoid the wastage, the state can relocate the kits and the consumables so it can be appropriately used. And another responsibility of the state, the LS lab services and CST is to that ARTC staff are trained as per the NACO guidelines in regard to the sample collection, transportation, packaging, and even for the viral load, they should be trained for the testing. And if required, the state can even conduct the on-site training for the ARTCs. And if any discrepancy comes on the way for the sample transportation, the resolution of the sample, those query will be done by the State AIDS Control Society only. So right now, you all know that the states are hiring this transport agency. So it will be the responsibility of the state that they work as what they just adhere to the terms and condition of the contract. So so in regard to the transportation agency, State AIDS Control Society to ensure that they should follow the schedule. As Cynthia has also just told you in the beginning of the PPT that there will be a schedule which will be shared with all the ARTCs, that which days they will be collecting, when will they be coming, and which lab they will be going into. So you also have to check whether it is happening or not. In case of the delivery, if there is any problem at the ART center, so the ARTC should tell to state should tell to the delivery person of the transportation agency. So there should be a clear-cut coordination between all the three partners, which are ARTC, state, and the transportation agency. And the person who is responsible for the transportation should be aware of the linkage plan, trained on the biosafety precautions, and should also be aware of the transportation practices as per the guidelines. So state should ensure that they are aware of all these things. And finally, which covers everything, that the SAC should ensure that all the terms and conditions specified in the contract are met. So now coming to the roles and responsibility of the ARTC, it is as you all know, that the ARTC is the PLHIV's touch point. Whenever they are detected, they come to the RTC where they get all the services. Okay, so even the sample transportation, sample collection, be it for the CD4 or viral load, it happens at the ARTC only. So ARTC is responsible for the sample collection, packaging, storage, and transportation. They are also responsible for receiving the results from the lab and interpreting the result. Accordingly, they are supposed to give the adherence counseling to the patient who are unsuppressed. And if required, they can even refer the patient to the SASEP. And further, they report the result to the patient, PLHIV. And if required, they do even provide the psychosocial support in case if there is a patient like the PLHIV suspected to be the treatment failure. So these are the common general ARTC roles and responsibility. So when it comes to the viral load, the medical officer or medical officer at the ARTC will decide on the eligibility for the viral load test. And then they will record the test result, date of testing, entry of viral load result, and the date of next viral load in the white card as well as the green card. Just now in the previous session, Dr. Mahalingam has told you that, if the patient is on the second line, there will be a test on the 6 months. If the patient is, suppressed, then the viral testing will be done after 1 year. So accordingly, they have to make the entries. The medical officer should reach out to the patient PLHIV immediately in case the viral load is greater than 1,000 copies per ml, which is considered to be unsuppressed. And if required, initiate the process for referral of a patient with more than 1,000 copies per ml to the SESEP through an email with all supporting clinical documents, which might be happening now also. Now coming to the roles and responsibility or the lab technician ARTC, which is going to be critical and crucial because ARTC lab technician is responsible for the sample collection, packaging, storage. So for the viral load testing, it is, as you all know, that viral load is a sensitive test and the pre-analytical do play a very big important role. So therefore the lab technician should follow the guidelines for the sample collection and enter the details of the collection in the IMS sample, the module, IMS module, which is now in the field it is known to be SOCH. The LT will also ensure that all the necessary consumables are in stock, the sample integrity is maintained, and the packaging is done as per the national guidelines, which is recommended in the National Viral Load Testing Guidelines. And the samples are transported to the viral load lab within 5 days. So in addition, the ARTC LT will update the ARTC viral load lab register, inform to the PLHIV to collect his or her reports on his next scheduled visit to the ART center. And if required, the ARTC LT will respond to the discrepancy or any non-conformity within the defined timeline. In case the transportation agency person is not able to, not able to report to the ARTC for the sample pickup, so on the designated day, ARTC should inform to the SEX for the alternative arrangements. Because in case if you do not tell the ARTC LT, do not tell to the state people, they will not get to know. So it is you are responsible to tell and inform the states so that they can make the alternative arrangements, because it is essential that the sample is transported to the lab within 5 days. Okay. So these are the some of the listed responsibilities, roles and responsibility of the LT. Any question in